the 365-day challenge, which consisted of a new physical and mental challenge. I read that yesterday. Each month, a challenge that he would do every day of that given month. He chose to compete in some of the world's toughest endurance challenges, such as the Ironmans, ultramarathons, multi-day runs, and long-distance cycling trips, all with 0 days off for an entire year in the pursuit of earning his master's degree in fulfillment and grit. I was tired just reading that. So he now speaks and writes on the subject. So without further ado, round of applause for Mr. Brandon.
Thank you. Hey, off the bat, let's everyone get up. It's like 4:50 on a Friday. Everyone up, we'll do some stuff really quick. Okay, off the bat, 10 jumping jacks. Just get the body moving here. Okay, 10 body weight squats, hands out, drop down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm getting tired. 8, 9, 10. Then we're gonna go in and out for 5. Down on the ground, I want 5 push-ups for everyone. Yeah, you might have chairs your way, we gotta figure it out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're good. I'm tired, you're tired, we're all good now. Yeah, so everyone got their seat, they're comfortable, ready to go. Yeah, so I'm super excited to be here today. Like I said, I was here last year at the Good Life Top 500 presenting on this similar subject. This year, new things have happened, different approaches, more mental health based, which I'm excited to talk about because it's an epidemic nowadays. Everyone's anxious and depressed and sad. I think we can learn a lot through challenging ourselves. And oh my God, out of breath from that push-ups. So yeah, I really feel if challenging yourself is a great way to increase our fulfillment in all 6 pillars, not just physically. Sometimes we come to this conference, we think it's more of a physical thing, but I want to talk about mental, emotional, personal, professional, and a little bit of financial, right? Just kind of figure out how these things can aid in our overall fulfillment. So, who am I? Just so you guys know. So I'm a strength and endurance adventure athlete. Is this real? Maybe not, but I'm doing it. Basically, I take on these long endurance races, but I have a strength element to it. I'm a speaker, a writer, I coach at F45, I coach clients, I'm a consultant, so I'll go into corporations and organizations and talk about how to increase employee engagement and productivity through challenging yourself. And I also host 2 podcasts. The Fear of Being Average podcast, which I actually have health and wellness guests on, or elite athletes and performers. We sit down, we have a conversation. And then I also have 2 athletes and a mic. If you want to get offended, watch that one. I will say something that will probably offend you guys. But it's more of a fun podcast I have a good time with, both on Spotify. Check it out if you want. And I have a blog too. I write some stuff. And then where it all started, guys. So we're going to break it back down to how I got into this subject matter. 1 year out of graduating, I found myself in a direct marketing job. I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I kind of just got into the sales-based job. I ended up getting promoted through that within 1 year. I had my own business out in BC, so I opened up my own company, my own direct marketing company. It was fun, but wasn't the thing I really wanted to do, so I transitioned to the health and wellness field. That led me to Good Life Fitness. I had the sales, I had the health background, a lot of freedom. It was a great job. I did really well there, had a lot of fun. But then it came to a point where I wasn't living up to the thing I really wanted to do. It might sound cocky or too confident, but I kind of knew I was destined for something a little bit bigger, a little bit more exciting, fulfilling in life. And maybe a lot of us think that way. Maybe we think we have something in us that we're not quite digging into. So I asked myself, if I want to be a speaker and I want to get in front of an audience and educate and inspire and motivate and give you guys insights and formulas on how to live a more fulfilling life, I wanted to be the guinea pig. I didn't want to just be an educator. I wanted to be a practitioner. I wanted to be on the front line. I wanted to be in the fire. So I had a little bit more credibility and accountability. So I asked my buddy, I'm like, I wanted to live a life of impact, experience, uniqueness, travel. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to do a lot of cool stuff. So, and I was like, I want to earn my master's degree in this subject matter. So I came up with a 365-day challenge with this beautiful lady. I already described what that was. So I took on some of the world's toughest challenges. I just signed up for all this stuff. Like I'm a football background in university. I wrestle in university. I'm not an endurance athlete whatsoever. And I just signed up for all this crazy stuff like 12 months in advance. I had every month lined up, and I picked a certain subject, a certain sport, something that was mental and physical, and I would do it every day of that given month. It was really cool to see because one month we did swimming. I couldn't swim more than 50 meters. I was like, how the hell am I going to do a half Ironman? And we figured it out after 30 days. And we kept doing these crazy things like marathons on 3 weeks notice, ultra marathons on 6 weeks notice. I take on these crazy adventures. A lot of them I failed, some of them I did well at, but it was a learning experience. And then just last, well, probably 2 months ago, I did Canada's first ever triathlon, which was really cool because I wanted to get out there a little bit more. I wanted to create more awareness, and I wanted to kind of hit a bigger audience. So one of my heroes out in Great Britain, he was the first ever athlete to take on a triathlon. For what you guys probably don't know what that is, it's an Olympic distance triathlon, just with a tree on your back. So it was my own personal event. I did it for a charity, and it got a lot of publicity, a lot of awareness, which was awesome because it allowed me to kind of talk about my message on a more global scale. And it was a lot of fun. It was cool to see what your body and mind can actually do, and to do something where you do something like a triathlon, but you throw a tree on your back. It was pretty neat to kind of see that to come to fruition. Now, why do I challenge myself? Why do I do this stuff? Basically, my hypothesis is if you challenge yourself both mentally and physically consistently through all pillars, you're going to live a very fulfilling life. And that was kind of my idea, my insight. So, off the bat, we're going to talk about the story of the man who lost his keys inside the dark house. Try not to butcher this one for you. I'm going to give this guy a name. His name is Bill. Okay, so Bill comes home from work one day. He's all tired and exhausted, and the lights go off in his house. And all of a sudden, poor Bill drops his keys on the ground. So he goes to look for his keys. As he's stumbling around in the complete darkness, he kicks his keys away. So now Bill's searching around his house, has no idea where these keys are in this dark house. And he's looking and looking and looking. After about 5 minutes, he's absolutely exhausted. And he stands up and he sees light outside. And he sees all these lamps on. He's like, all right, that's a great idea. There's light out there. So he opens his door, walks outside, he starts searching for his keys outside. So he's searching away, searching away. His neighbor comes out and says, Bill, like, what are you doing? He was like, well, I lost my keys. I'm looking for my keys out here. So him and his neighbor both now start searching for his keys outside. All of a sudden, his neighbor, after 5-10 minutes of exhaustion, says, Bill, we've been looking for 5-10 minutes, we can't find your keys. Like, where the hell did you leave them? He's like, well, I left them inside the house. And that's just a metaphor for a lot of people. That's what they do, right? We search for answers and solutions externally. We search to kind of solve the problem somewhere where it really can't be resolved, rather than looking internally. Because again, it takes more effort, it takes a little bit more courage to search internally and actually discover what's not working in our lives. And so often we look for either a drug, we look for some sort of external validation from other people, things that don't even matter, and nothing gets rectified, and we go through life empty, unfulfilled, unengaged, with no true meaning or purpose, okay? So, biologically, I want to kind of dial it back from an ancestral standpoint. We have energy in us that needs to be released, okay? If we are not releasing that energy, it really causes havoc within our system. We fat, we become lazy, we become unfulfilled, we have no purpose, we're empty, we're unsatisfied. Back in the day, that was okay because at the end of the day, they had challenges to overcome, they had threats to run from, and they had living situations that they had to create. So they had their energy, and they'd always have a certain amount of stimulation to get rid of. But nowadays, we don't have that. Everything is directed right to us, right? We can order food from our couch. We can buy clothes from our couch. We don't need to build shelter. We don't have to do anything. We are so damn comfortable, it's insane. It's convenient, it's nice, but it also makes us kind of bitches. And that's just the straight true truth of it, right? So we have all this external energy that we're not releasing that we need to get out of us. So we need to kind of switch the programming to start off. If we want a more fulfilled life, we need to see things from a different point of view. And where it starts is the programming of discomfort versus comfort, and that paradigm and that dichotomy. A lot of people, and it goes back to the Freudian psychoanalysis of the idea of immediate gratification versus long-term fulfillment. So anyone heard of the pleasure principle here? Right? So it's the idea that we seek things that give us an immediate sense of gratification, right? For example, we're on our phone, we get that dopamine release, if we get a text, if we get a like, we get a comment, feels good off the bat, right? We eat like shit, we eat sugars and fats, it gives you this release of energy, but it's very short-lived. Then there's the idea of the reality principle, which goes into making short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. So it's doing things knowing, okay, right now is not quite satisfying, quite fulfilling in the moment. I don't really want to do it. It's like going for a run in the rain. You're like, I'd much rather sit here and eat Cheetos, but the long-term effect of me doing this is a greater reward for myself. So it's the idea to switch those things, because when we view discomfort as something that's bad, we're always going to pick the easy option. We're always going to stay in a bubble of comfort and easiness, but we know that does not lead us anywhere but feeling empty, unfulfilled, no meaning in our lives. So first things first, we need to change our perspective on a few things. Now I'm going to try to fire these off. I don't want to spend too much time on this. You kind of have the bigger idea to go get to. But pain. We are stronger than we think, guys. We see it all the time. People enter gyms, their first day, they're super tight, and they're all beat up, and they're like, Brandon, I need like 3 days off from my first gym experience. It's like, okay, man, you can do that, but guess what's gonna happen 3 days after? You're gonna come back, and your body's gonna feel like shit again. And it's Groundhog Day, over and over and over, to the point you're like, I don't wanna feel like this every day. Well, here's the idea. Jump into it. Your body can do a lot of stuff, man. You can beat the crap out of your body and it will adapt. All it's doing is dealing with stress and adapting to it. So we gotta switch that perspective. Fear and pressure. We see fear as something that scares the shit out of us, right? Anything that's kind of new or foreign or uncertain. End of the day, we need to overcome it by kissing the girl. And that's just a little metaphor I say, if I'm scared to approach that girl, shit, I gotta do it, or I'm still gonna be scared of it. It's just the name of the game. If we are always scared to jump in, to sign up for a marathon, sign up for a triathlon, do something professionally, ask for that promotion. If we just sit there scared of it, you're always gonna be scared. You gotta jump into it. Failure. This is a crazy one for me, because I almost searched for failure. I'm a 170-pound, more muscular-based guy, and I signed up for ultra marathons. I had no business being in, straight up. I did a 240-mile run in Utah in 6 months of training, and I was on and off training. I had no business being that gradual level race. I was gonna fail. It is what it was. It was a 4-day run. I ain't doing that shit on 6 months' notice. But I signed up for it. End of the day, a lot of people identify themselves if they fail at something, say they fail at work, or they fail in a relationship, they fail in a sport. They take that, they put it on themselves. They now label themselves as a failure. For me, I give a story. This past week, I did a 120-mile ultra marathon in BC. 60 miles, I dropped out. Okay, my body felt good. Mentally, I wasn't ready going into it. And at the moment, I felt kind of like a failure, and I was like, man, I didn't really, I wasn't broken. I just kind of gave up. And I had to dial it back and be like, no, that's not going to identify me. That's not going to label me as a failure. I need to figure out what that problem is and come back stronger and better next time. If we do that, we're never a failure. If we keep having these failures, then you're a failure. Figure your shit out, okay? At that point, dig into it and actually rectify the issue. Advice from others. If we're pursuing the life that we really want to live, that like an adventure athlete, I give that a perfect example. That's unorthodox. No one can really relate with that. If I say, hey, I'm going to be an adventure athlete, writer, speaker, it's like, okay, Brandon, good for you, buddy. Good luck on that one. If I'm asking advice from everybody else, and I'm hearing people that have chosen the safe path, they've gone down a realm where it's safe and easy and secure. Do you think I'm going to get the best advice for them? No, they're going to look out for that well-being of doing something that's a little bit more secure. Why don't you take this job in Toronto and have a nice desk job and you make some good money, you have benefits? That shit doesn't apply to me, man. So let's take that perspective and realize when we're asking for advice on certain subjects, who are we really asking? We're trying to pursue a certain level of greatness. Search for the people that are living the life that you want to live, that's been there, dealt with your struggles. And then time. I love this question. How many below 30-year-olds we have in here? Hands up high. Okay, 35 and above. Perfect. We got a whole mix of it. Now, if I were to ask, that's young guys, let's remember that. We got some young people in here. I always ask this question. I'm 29 myself. Now, if I always dial it back and say in 5 years, I can have everything I want. I can become that adventure athlete that gets paid to travel around and do cool experiences, and I get paid to speak, and I get paid to write. In 5 years, by the time I'm 34 years old, if I could have that life, would I take that deal? Would you guys take that deal? In 5 years, you can do the exact thing you really want to do in life. Would you guys take that deal? Hands up. Yeah? Some, yeah. You guys mostly should, because 5 years is nothing. At the end of the day, if I do it at 35 years old, and 5 years sounds like a long time. If I dig in, and I'm not getting paid for my stuff right now, but in 5 years I can be living the exact dream I want to live, that is a trade-off I will do every single day. What happens? Most people try it out for like 3 months and 6 months, they go, I haven't made it yet, I'm gonna settle. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like 6 months in the grand scheme of things is absolutely nothing. A year, 2 years, 3 years, that's nothing. Be patient. And that can be a fitness journey, that can be a quest to travel. Just switch that perspective. We got tons of time, guys. Sacrifice. We hear it all the time. People are so afraid to sacrifice time going out and getting all messed up and getting fucked up on the weekend. It's like, what are we really sacrificing? What's important to you? Take the time to dial it back and actually ask yourself, is what I'm sacrificing really a sacrifice? Some people have a hard time giving up friends. They have these negative people they've known for all their life. They're like, I don't know if I want to sacrifice that relationship. That relationship sucks. It's soul crushing. So switch your perspective. Is it really doing you good or is it doing you harm? And then accountability, guys, you're in control. I could preach on this for 40 minutes by itself, but you are absolutely in control of anything that happens to you. I've had a lot of success over the last 3 years. The biggest reason is I've taken full-on accountability for myself. I have not made one excuse on anything, and that might sound like, okay, Brandon, you probably made it. No, I haven't, because I've been successful. Why the hell would I give someone else credit for that? But if I was failing at stuff, I'm going to own that too. As soon as you take the perspective that you're in 100% control of your failures and your successes, life will turn around for you very fast. Because we no longer give up control and give up leverage, putting it onto somebody else to fix your shit. Own your life, man. Nobody gives a shit if you're depressed, sad, or anxious. I'm empathetic towards it, I'm sympathetic towards it, but no one actually gives a shit because you're in control and you gotta figure out how to fix this, and hopefully this will help out too. Now guys, how Challenge Myself has helped me and will help you. Self-discovery. Through going out there and doing this different stuff, man, I've learned a lot about myself. I do not wear a mask. I'm very confident in who I am, what I like to do, what makes me happy, what gives me fulfillment, what doesn't give me fulfillment. Leverage. Everything I do and I can talk about is based around leverage, guys. When we challenge ourselves, when we put ourselves in environments where we got to problem solve on an instinct, and we have to find out solutions, and we have to adapt accordingly, you get leverage in life, and all of a sudden you then gain credibility, you gain a skill set that now I have leverage. I don't have a fear of loss. I'm not going to work for someone I don't want to work for, I'm not going to work with people I don't want to work with, and I'm not going to do things I don't want to do because I have leverage strong enough to dictate my own life now. Connection. You will build bigger, stronger, better connections when you challenge yourself and put yourself in the environments. If you start doing Ironman training, you're going to meet some really motivated, cool people, hypothetically, okay? If you do anything where you're pushing yourself outside the comfort zone, say you want to get promoted within your company, and you start talking with successful reps there, you're going to meet some really successful, driven, ambitious people. That is contagious. That's going to be healthy for you. So realize when you challenge yourself, you're going to meet other motivated people that are just going to excel that experience. Confidence, you're going to know who you are when you do this stuff. There is a black and white line, guys. If you're self-aware enough and you do something like a challenging environment, you're going to learn a lot about who you are. You're going to gain a lot of confidence because you're not going around thinking about this is who I should be, this is what they want me to be. You're just doing life for you. Growth, we have the ability to adapt, adjust, and transform gracefully, which is a fantastic skill set because anything I talk about, it goes back to life, guys. It goes back to when we have relationship troubles, when we have financial troubles at home, we have personal and professional issues. You want to be able to adapt gracefully. A lot of people, what happens is that they're having stuff go on in their life that's really rocking their kind of like reality. What happens? They start taking that time away from their physical nature. They start taking time away from themselves and giving themselves the time to rest and regenerate. And they take away time from things that are really important to them because they don't know how to adapt. The stress is so much for them that they have no idea how to actually adapt gracefully, taking time to breathe, figure out what the best solution is right now, how to logically move forward. Because that's what people do, man. We get stuck in these patterns where we don't know how to do it, and every decision is based on emotion. And when we make emotional decisions, guys, we make decisions that aren't going towards our long-term fulfillment. We want to avoid that. Believe, the noise doesn't bother me, man. Anybody can look at me like, Brandon, you're fucked, you don't know what you're doing, you're not gonna be this guy. I do not hear it, I just don't, man. I'm so confident, like, hey, 5 years from now, I'm gonna be speaking, making good money doing this, I'm gonna be traveling the world doing my thing, because I have the belief and self-awareness that time will be on my side. I'm gonna work my ass off, I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna put all these things in perspective and apply them. And your noise, you don't know me first off, right? Nobody knows you. If someone gives you advice and they say you're not gonna make it, do they actually know you? No. Why are we putting like any attention onto that? They have no idea who you are. The only thing that making them say that is the insecurity. They're putting judgment on you because they're insecure about their own situation, and that they would rather put you down than look at you as a source of motivation and go, holy shit, someone's actually going for it. That should be driving me, but instead, I'm out here doing my own, boring life that I'm not fulfilled with. It's easy to bring people down. So don't listen to the noise. The noise is bullshit, okay? True impact. This is a cool story. So two of my heroes, a lot of following. David Goggins, we know David Goggins in here, ex-Navy SEAL, ultra runner, badass, he's crazy, he's good stuff. And Ross Edgley, he was that guy who did the first ever triathlon. He's a Red Bull athlete. Ross Edgley has about 500,000 followers on Instagram. David Goggins about 1.2 million. Brandon Rinka 1,200. Okay, there's a big discrepancy. This guy from Germany, I don't know how he found me, but he found me. And he tagged me in a picture of him getting ready for this water event. And he tagged 3 people: Ross Edgley, David Goggins, and Brandon Rinka. And it was cool to see he chose those 3 guys as his kind of inspiration. I have no business being in there with them right now. I will, 100%, but it's cool to know that what you're doing has a lot of impact for other people. Because this shit isn't about just you guys. This is not just about you getting yours. It is about being service to other people and giving back as well. And then family, man, I got my cousin here right now. She sees me as a huge source of inspiration. I love her to death, and that's very empowering for me, okay? Freedom, you get to be who you are. No expectations, man. You get to live life on your terms. That's empowering, that's leverage. That shit is priceless as a mother. And then we have purpose. We have something to do all the time. A lot of people get stuck in a rut. They might have a great job, but all of a sudden life is kids, work, home, sleep, eat, shit, boom, boom. And you're like, hey man, this life was kind of cool, but now it's the same stuff over and over. You want to constantly find different purposes. That doesn't mean just physical. It doesn't mean go sign up for an Ironman, sign up for a triathlon. That can mean, hey, I want to join a knitting club. I want to join a cake decorating club. I want to do different things with different people. I want to have purposes in my life that excite me. This conference is a great thing. It gives you excitement to learn something new and maybe apply it to your life so you live a more fulfilling, exciting life, guys. Now, I'm gonna give you a couple of quick life hacks that you can take and implement into your life through challenging yourself. First one, create urgency, move the deadline up. This is a fantastic way to get things done, guys. When we have all the time in the world to get something done, I'm telling you, man, we'll push it off. The idea behind this is anyone that ever worked a job, or we've all been to school, when we have an assignment due the next day, what is the night before like? We are getting shit done. We are the most motivated person we've ever seen in the world. I can't believe I wrote a whole 4-page essay in 2 hours when I didn't do anything for the previous 2 months. It's because we took the deadline and we moved it up. If you are excited about something, if we want to go on a trip, we want to dive the coral reefs, we want to be a stand-up comedian, I don't care what you want to do, sign up for it. Create urgency in your life, put a deadline in place. Force yourself to get this shit done. Create certainty. This is program your mind, find the bright spots. Who's done it before you? Follow their journey, guys. We're all gonna have our own journey, but if you follow someone who's been there and done that, they're gonna have a lot of advice for you to get you forward on a productive manner. Ask for help. Don't be too cool for school. Be like, I'm gonna figure this shit on my own. It's not a good method. Connection's the new currency, guys. It's easy for me to it's hard for me to brand myself just as one guy. If I can work with other people and we all kind of do it together, it's gonna make things go by a lot faster and eliminate wasted surfing, man. Don't go to the answer, find the direct source. 3 removals you can do, guys. Remove access to shitty environments. Just remove access from it, man. If it's too hard for you or you're always distracted because you're on the computer watching TV at night when you should be working on projects of your own, eliminate access. If eating healthy is really difficult for you, don't buy shitty food. Just remove this stuff. It has to be done. Remove time, that's the urgency. Remove that time, get rid of it. And choice, I want you guys to remove choice in terms of decision fatigue, right? When we have all these all this food in our house, hypothetically, we want to eat healthy. We look around the kitchen, you look around the cupboards, we have no idea what we want to eat. We grab the easiest, fastest, shittiest thing for us. Eliminate the fatigue. Create structure in your life, guys. I'm telling you, it will help out a lot if you know what your morning routine looks like, if you have a good nighttime routine, throughout the day you know when you're eating, when you're drinking water, when you're detoxifying the body. Just figure out ways to structure your life so you're not thinking about what to do. Because man, we only have so much energy to give throughout the day. If we're constantly making decisions, constantly thinking about what to do, you're gonna lose. Because you're gonna make impulsive, emotional decisions, and you're gonna make the wrong decision, you're gonna lose all momentum, and you're gonna be like, now what? And then, Why Not Me initiative, I created this when I do my triathlon. I want you guys to think big. Now, not everyone wants to be the greatest and number one, and no one has to be. That, you know, honestly, is probably not the best thing for you. You want to live up to your potential, and you want to live a fulfilling life. Think, why not me? Anytime I see anything cool, I literally think, why not me? Why can't I be that person? Why can't I have the body I want? Why can't I be making the money I want, doing the thing I want? Just, you'll switch that perspective for yourself, guys. Don't think that guy must have some magical formula. He must have something really interesting about him, and he was destined for greatness. Just think, all these people have done anything you guys want to do, aspire to do, at whatever level that is. Why not you? And then nurture all your values. Guys, this is so important in terms of mental health. I never want you guys to challenge yourself if it gets in the way of your other values. Now I get there are going to be hierarchies throughout your life, okay? Maybe work takes up 60% of your time. Family takes up 20% of your time. And these things need to be nurtured first and foremost. That doesn't mean those things get in the way of your physical well-being, your financial well-being, your personal relationships, and your connections. Those things are still super important. And if people get in the habit where they're like, oh, I'm all in on these 3 values the next 3 months, that is a winless game too, guys. Because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, you might have all those things checked off. If you're not nurturing those other important values in your life, you can have everything you want. I'm telling you, you're gonna feel empty. We've all been there. We've got the job and the raise we want. We have the wife we want, husband we want, whatever. But there's something going off where we're like, I don't feel fulfilled. Why is that? Because we're not nurturing all those values, okay? So, to bring this all together, guys, and I'm probably getting the last 15 minutes gonna be highlighted on this, is choose happiness when challenging yourself. This is the main takeaway from this talk. If anything you guys grab and apply to your life is choosing to be happy. And you might sound like, okay, Brandon, like I choose to be happy. But no, honestly, like choose this decision. Be self-aware enough when we are doing things and when we are challenging ourselves to constantly self-audit ourselves. Dial it back and ask ourselves, am I happy in this pursuit? Am I happy in this relationship? Am I happy in these environments? Do these things that I do day to day make me happy? If they don't, stop doing them, guys. I don't care if it makes someone else the most excited, fulfilled person in the world. If it doesn't make you happy, who gives a shit, man? Do you. Be happy doing it. So I want happiness over achievement. So chase happiness, not the result. I'm gonna give you a great example of this. So, for my triathlon, I finished my triathlon, it took about 4 hours and 35 minutes. I had a whole bunch of family and friends out and people at the park, and I had a news station come out and film the end of it. And it was a great experience, right? And it was so telling though, because what happened was we had all these people around, all these cameras around. 5 minutes later, I was sitting there on a bench by myself. Like it never happened. My tree was in my car, and I was just chilling there. And it was a very telling moment because I had the either option to go, shit, it's over, I'm not fulfilled, or for me to look back and go, you know what, the process was really cool. I had a lot of cool people come out today. I had a lot of fun. It was a beautiful Sunday. The park was awesome. I had family, friends, acquaintances all there, not just for me, but having a good time together. And to me, there were 2 ways to look at that. And for me, it was very fulfilling to be like, I don't care that the triathlon is over. That's one thing, man. That doesn't define me, and that's not gonna make me happy. It's the process along the way, the growth, the relationships along the way that actually made me really happy. So again, don't focus on the result. The result, I'm telling you, is fleeting. You will not be fulfilled if you're like, once I get there, I'll finally have it. Like, no, you won't. I'm telling you right now, I don't care how big the accomplishment is, you won't have it if you take the process for granted, so don't do that. Take full responsibility when we're doing this, guys. Anytime we challenge ourselves, like I said, self-audit yourself constantly. Take the time. We do it with our finances, do it with yourself. Constantly dial it back. Ask yourself some deep questions. Get deep with that. You know, internal conversation, guys, is very healthy for you guys to do. Be mindful of that. Don't compare. This is a huge one. We're in the world now where someone's always going to be better than us. So comparing is a no-sum game here, guys. It doesn't make any sense to do. And we do it all the time. We go on social media, we do this, and we do that, and it's so hard not to compare to, like, I wish I had that body, and I wish I had that house. I wish, like, dude, just do you at the end of the day. Don't compare. Be focused on what makes you happy. Be focused intrinsically. And have that self-awareness to understand. Me comparing myself with anybody else's situation, they could look like they're having the best life of their life. They could be completely unfulfilled, man. It's so blurred. You focusing on anybody else and what they're doing, how they're doing it, again, you're not going to win that game. So just focus on making sure you're happy, you're fulfilled in the process. Follow the flow. Find things that put you in a flow state. A flow state is basically you're in this zone. So you're in this state that you're just kind of lost. It's challenging, but not too challenging where, like, I hate my life. Me with technology, that's not a flow state. I just get super pissed after 5 minutes. So I don't deal with technology very well because it's not a flow state. So find the thing that's challenging, but when you're in it, basically nothing else gets in there. So my mom does cake decorating. She has her flow, man. She gets in there, she enjoys herself. For me, it's swimming, jujitsu, these type of things, running in nature. I'm just kind of surrounded in that moment. And it's really good when you're chasing that because that's happiness. You're in a state where nothing else is really kind of bothering you. And then mindful of your values. Again, be mindful, take the time, dial it back, understand what's important to you that way. So above all else, guys, challenge how we view success. How I view success is waking up happy every single morning. Yeah, man, so this should be your goal. And one thing that's super fascinating to me, I put Robin Williams and Anthony Bourdain. We all know Robin Williams, guys. Of course, you know Anthony Bourdain, celebrity chef. It's so fascinating. That's why I do a lot of research. I do a lot of external research, a lot of internal research. I read a lot, develop this kind of stuff, because those things are fascinating to me. So Robin Williams, Anthony Bourdain, they're living the life they want to live. Okay, they have the status, they have the money, they have the job they want, they have a good family, and they have money. What happens? They kill themselves. Obviously, something they are doing in life wasn't working. They weren't waking up happy enough to not commit suicide. And this shit's real, man. It really is. So for me, I'm like, my mind's blown because I'm like, there's something that's off. Something that we're doing or not doing that's leading to people that look like they have it all commit suicide. So what's the reason behind this, right? Chances are they're not actually taking this principle and applying it into effect. They're taking that principle and they're kind of switching it on its head. Like, oh, I'm gonna wake up and do something I want. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna try to give back. But something's not being nurtured. And to me, that's very fascinating. So my goal every single day isn't to be doing anything but be happy. I wanna wake up, I wanna go to work being happy. If I'm not going to work being happy, man, I'm gonna leave that place. You might say, Brand, it's not that easy. I got bills to pay, I got family to feed. I get that. Figure out your exit strategy then. But if you're waking up every single day saying, what's life? What's the meaning? What's the purpose of life? Man, you gotta do some real intrinsic questioning, and you need to figure out what that reason is, and you gotta find an exit strategy to make sure you're happy. Change your perspective, be grateful in those situations. So these are my power tips, realistically, to how to apply this. I want you to develop true self-awareness and accountability today, guys. Leave here with the true self-awareness of what you want out of life. Take the time to take those 6 values, emotional, mental, physical, personal, professional, financial, and ask you, what do you want in those values? What would make you fulfilled? If you were to check that off, like, hey, emotionally I'm fulfilled, what would that look like? What would personally be fulfilled mean? Is that a relationship? Is that great friends? Is that new environments? Financially, what does that look like? Is it $100,000 or is it $70,000, but we're happy and we're doing things that we want to do every single day? We're waking up, creating excitement in our life. Learn from centenarians. If you guys don't know what centenarians are, it's people that are living to 100 years old. A lot of these blue zone nations can teach us so much, guys. We're going through life wondering how to be healthy, how to be successful, all this stuff. But why don't we just learn from people that are doing it and learn from celebrities? What are these centenarians doing day in, day out that are making them so fulfilled in life? Well, they have purposes, I'll tell you that much. They have great social connections, they're moving their body constantly. It doesn't mean just work out, right? It doesn't mean work out for an hour a day and that's it. No, they're moving their body constantly. They're waking up, they're eating properly, they're not eating processed shit. Okay, we can learn a lot from them and it's not messing up their insides, it's not messing up their brain. There's a lot of connections with that, guys. If our gut health is shit, we're messing up our hormones, we're mess up circadian rhythm, we don't sleep well, we have more stress. Like there's so many things I can dive into on this one. It's insane. So what are they doing that are making them live long, healthy lives? Because it's not about living to 100, guys. It's living to 100 happy and healthy. Okay, that's the key. It's not about just living. I hear people tell, well, I don't care if I die tomorrow. If you're sick as shit, you're not gonna die tomorrow. You're probably gonna be like in pain and you have chronic disease and illness. That's not fun to have. So look at that. Be authentically you. Nothing else can replace this, man. I'm a huge Christmas fan. For people that don't know, I don't look like the most Christmassy guy ever. Everyone kind of thinks I drink and get fucked up and all this stuff. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I love Christmas. That's me in a nutshell. But it's funny because I'll play Christmas music in my car and everyone's like, what the hell are you doing? Like you're 29 years old male, like, what are you doing? Like I like Christmas, it makes me feel good, it's wholesome, it's innocent, it's cool. Whatever, I'm me, man, and I'm okay with that. Like I'm not worried about how someone judges that, because if they judge me on that, that's a them issue, man. If they judge me because I'm happy and smiling and doing things I want to do, that's on you. Good for you. I'm going to keep doing me. So the amount of anything else that we have in life, that's not going to affect me, man. It's not. My biggest thing is being me consistently. Because when we're not, we go in environments, we try to be someone else. Even though if we get laughs or we get, praise afterward, but we weren't us, we feel kind of shitty. We're like, I don't know about that one. Like that wasn't Brandon. I don't like that. But if we're us and we get accepted or we get rejected, or we're like, hey, like I've been rejected. I've gone to girls, got rejected. It's like, they didn't like me, I guess. At least I wasn't trying to be someone else. Reflect, reflect, reflect. Be honest with yourself, guys. Take the time to do this. It's very, very difficult for a lot of people to do, is to reflect on who they are. Because who we are, a lot of us aren't living up to the standard that we have for ourselves, so we don't want to look internally. When we don't have that going on, when we feel like I know I'm taking the easy path out, we don't want to actually rectify that issue. It makes us feel like shit when we know we're kind of shooing it in. But again, to be healthy and get rid of your anxiety and your depression and your sadness and live a more fulfilling life, you need to take the time to actually reflect. And if something isn't working that you've been doing for 5 years, that's okay. That's in the past. That's not you. What you did in the past will never label you. Okay? Just move forward with a progressive manner. And then stop with the soul-crushing environments, man. This one, I haven't worked a job in 6 years I hate, and I won't ever do this, man. I can't imagine jumping into an environment that just rips my soul out, that I gotta drive to somewhere and be like, I absolutely hate doing this. Just stop doing it. And like I said, I know a lot of people are gonna say it's not that easy. I get that, but look at your day. Where can you figure out an exit strategy within that day? Are you working on projects every night for an hour? Every night, not every Tuesday night. I'm talking every night. Are we working on an exit strategy to get out of there? Are we making more money? We gotta figure out ways out of these environments. It can't just be like, well, this is my life, Brandon. I'm 40, I'm fucked, man. It's like, okay. You can take that strategy, but your life's gonna be miserable. So that's not helping anyone. That's just a story of your life sucking. Cool. Nobody cares, man. Fix it. Stop doing these things. It's easy when we actually take the self-awareness and accountability and go, hey, nothing's changed until I actually change this shit. And then stop buying dumb shit, man. Like, this one I can go off on too. A lot of people are buying cars they can't afford. They have houses with 3 bedrooms. They only use 1 bedroom. We buy the newest thing. Like I used to have like an SE up until last year until I got a free 10S, and I was like, all right, cool, that's cool, I got it for free. But we keep buying new things as if it's gonna make us happy. We know that's not reality, man. We know us actually buying new things and externally thinking it's gonna validate and give us happiness. It's not. And then perfection, guys. I'm not saying chase perfection, but this is a great definition for one of my favorite movies, Friday Night Lights. This is what the Coach Taylor says to his team at the end when they're all transitioning from being athletes into adulthood. This is what he says. Perfection is being able to look your friends and family in the eye and know you didn't let them down because you told them the truth. Truth that you did everything you could with clear eyes and love in your heart and joy in your heart. If you can do this, this is perfect. So guys, be true to who you are. Understand that, dial it back. Be happy, and that is perfection, guys. All right, thank you so much. If you have any questions afterwards, let me know.